Right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday Grants Live. And good to see so many of you who've already tuned in early. I can't wait to give you all shout outs. But we've got a lot to cover today over the next 30 minutes. And specifically, I'm going to tell you about our brand new, this is the biggest grant we've done. And there's some changes to it, a $5,000 grant. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But besides that $5,000 grant, which is probably why a lot of you have tuned in, you know it's our mission to give out as much as possible. It's basically our YouTube revenue that we send right back to you who've tuned in. We've also got other grants up on the screen here. I'm going to talk about at least two other grants that I want to put on your radar that are on Skip, the Skip app and Skip dashboard. And then another funding if you're a startup. If you're a startup and you want to get up to $50,000, what are your options? I'll give you two options if you're an early stage pre-revenue business. So can't wait to get into it today. I love Tuesdays and seeing so many of you, and thanks everyone who's new for subscribing, for liking this video, to spread the word. You know, there's 33 million small businesses in the US. There's millions more entrepreneurs. It's our mission to help all of them with funding, grants, to get you the information you need so you can apply, get money to fund and grow your business or grow your passion. So good shout outs here to drop in where you're watching from. We've got early folks from Ohio, Cleveland, and Cincinnati, Texas. Nigeria is also showing up early as well. Where else are folks watching from? We've got Detroit, Virginia, California, Dallas, Fort Worth. Drop in where you're watching from. I'll give some more shout outs. But this is a big deal. So for the first time ever, we have a sponsored, a dedicated sponsored grant. We've had sponsors before, but we're making this into a bigger deal because we're giving out a larger amount of money. So that's why we're going to be announcing a 5K grant. If you want to be on the early access list for this 5K grant, I'll share more details in a few minutes, but the link is in the description. So the first link in the description, drop in your email because we'll tell you when this 5K grant officially goes live, and there's advantages to being told first. I'll explain that in a second. So that's the first link in the description. The second link, I've said this before, we grow by word of mouth. So many of you who tune in here have been tuning in for three plus years. Or if you're brand new, that's great too. But anyway, a lot of you are affiliates and you tell others about Skip, about how we have this beautiful dashboard and app with hundreds of grant options, funding options, and creating our own grants. So thank you to everyone who does that. If you want to become a Skip affiliate and learn how to earn up to thousands of dollars extra per month by telling others about Skip, use the second link in the description. So those are the links today. That's the call. That's basically it. I hope some of you, if you're not trying out the app yet, would love to hear your feedback as always with some of the new features. We've got AI for the app launching in a couple weeks. So I like to tell you about things first here on our lives. Amazing AI feature coming up to help you write your grants, write your business plans, ask general business questions, whatever stage you're at, how to get set up, incorporated. So that's going to be a big deal. I'll say more about it next week because we're going to launch it probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, and you'll get early access. More shout outs to South Carolina, Georgia, Colorado, Tennessee, and Illinois and Alabama. So and Puerto Rico. So yeah, let's try to get most of the states represented. Okay, I'm going to start with two brand new grants we put in the grants vault. Then I'll talk about the 5K grant, how that's going to work, how you can increase your odds of winning the 5K grant, etc. Also, last week was a big week for SBA 7A loans. If you've forgotten about SBA, let me put it back on your radar. So if you're curious, SBA 7A made rule changes to make it easier for you to get a loan up to $5 million. If you want to see if you're eligible, typically they want to see a decent credit score, 640 plus, depending on the lender, that you have revenue, but the rule changes made it easier. So even if you don't have revenue, still you could potentially get a 7A loan. One of the most popular fundings that I've got up on the screen right here on our app. And so there's been a huge resurgence in interest here. So I just want to tell you what's popular. 7As. The main reason, two main reasons. One, the rule changes that went into effect on August 1st made it easier for lenders to use existing criteria to approve you. So less red tape. That's the skip mission as well. And then number two is there was $8 billion that was left on the table last year, $8 billion that could have been given out in 7A loans that wasn't. So based on that, people are saying, hey, maybe I should reconsider a loan if that's what you want to look at for your business. My mantra, I'll say it again, because I love all of you, is if you don't see what's out there, you don't know what the offer is. So even if yes, there's credit pulls, things like that, and it takes time, but it's worth an attempt, or at least consider it. Not financial advice, but anyway, see what the offer is, then you can consider. We have a 7A partner that makes it great. ERC, tens of thousands of you have gotten ERC credits. You've probably gotten dozens of spam emails, probably because companies are coming out of the woodwork to talk about ERC. We've got a great partner if you haven't taken advantage of that yet. And then the third most popular one is the SBA microloan, up to $50,000. So that's one where if you don't have revenue, but a somewhat decent credit score, you're just starting out, just incorporated, or you want to incorporate, microloan through CDFI lenders could be a good option. And we've got details here. Okay. What you see next to it here is our August skip grants, not to be confused with the new one I'm going to tell you about right now. We're giving out a couple $1,000 grants the last Tuesday of the month. I think that's the 28th, something like that. So 2 weeks from today, we'll pick a couple grant winners. Next week, on our live, I'll show you some of the past winners. I love talking to all the past winners, and I'll share some of their stories. Okay, August skip grants, helloskip.com/1K. You can enter our August skip grants in a few seconds. I think most of you have already done that. If we did a poll, we'd probably find 60% of you watching have already entered our August skip grants, because it's really just you click the link and you're entered. That's literally all there is to it. Okay. The two other grants, before I talk about the 5K grant, are this no grant. This is on the Skip app. Let me tell you what it is. Pure Leaf, the company, believes no is beautiful. Nearly 2/3 of moms have questioned their value because they were overwhelmed with doing it all. Household chores, childcare, job stresses, and saying no to those responsibilities often comes at a financial cost. So for women entrepreneurs, for moms, there's a 2K grants program. Okay, the eligible, you must be in the US, over 18, must identify as a mother, and must apply by October. So if that's relevant for any of you in the comments, would love to hear. This is brand new, we just added. And all right. And Gail, that's my birthday. So which is your birthday? October 31st on Halloween? All right. And hello to everyone who's given hellos and shout outs. And we've got more states, most of the states represented now. New Mexico, Missouri, Connecticut. I think we're up to 20 states right now. Okay. So that's the first new grant. I want to mention the second one is grant to end gatekeeping. The number one rule around here is no gatekeeping. So again, for women-owned businesses, and I tell you, a lot of these are women-owned business focused, which is why we've made our grant broader to increase accessibility. But you can read the details here. So you must publish a post about female founder world on TikTok, and you can get up to $1,000 grant. Okay, $1,000 pretty good, but we've got a $5,000 grant I'm going to tell you about right now. Okay, so the first link in the description, you will get early access. We are going to officially launch this 1 week from today. But for those of you who put in your email on that first link, I'll tell you about it by Friday, this Friday, so you can get a head start. Here's why that's important. 5,000 is great. You know, we partnered with Fora Financial for this grant. I'll be saying more about them in the future. They do term loans, working capital loans. They're on the funding assistant here as well. You can find out about them. But they've helped sponsor this grant, so we're going to be featuring them a lot this month. They're helping make this 5K grant possible. So basically, it's going to be very quick to enter because that's what I love doing, making it simple for you. And one of the requirements will be to post briefly. You can either repost something we've done or do your own post and mention Skip. That's it. Pretty low lift. Most of you have social media for your business. That's one of the things we want to inspire, how important social marketing is. Obviously, you know, we've loved doing YouTube here. It's been a great way to connect with many of you over the past few years. I think we're also streaming today on Twitter and Facebook. And our thing is we want more people to know about grant options that exist and what's possible. So that's going to be a requirement. And when we tell you, early folks that are tuned in today, about these grants on Friday, ahead of the public launch, you'll have an opportunity, you'll have a leg up in case you want to post. There's going to be one more way to get extra entries. I'm going to mention that on Friday. Again, when we announce early access to this, you can get multiple entries like we've done in the past for this to increase your odds of winning a 5K grant. There's more there too in terms of featuring shortlisted businesses, but I'll say more about that later. And good to see so many of you in the comments who've won in the past. August 28th, Gail, great. We'll pick $1,000 winners. I think you're trying to say that on the 28th, you would love to be one of the $1,000 winners. Or did you already win? I can't remember. And more shout outs here to more states. And we've got folks still looking for their EIDL targeted grants in the comments. By the way, any questions? Okay, I'll loop back to the 5K grant in a second. Any questions when it comes to SBA funding or EIDL funding? Would love to hear and address some questions or comments here. You know, because the way we see it is there's typically two camps for small business owners: the grants camp and the financing camp. And those two aren't mutually exclusive. And it's often the best strategy to be considering both. Okay, so look at what are your real financing options, whether it's equity, if you're set up to issue shares via a C Corp or an S Corp, whether it's equity financing or whether it's term loans, SBA loans, or lines of credit, which are often great because you're just approved up to an amount, and it's a nice backup plan in case something happens. So I love talking about those, and we have more and more partners that we've vetted, that we've helped people get, you know, over $2 billion to date. A lot of that, most of that was from the EIDL program, but a lot are through our new partners. So that's if you want substantial funding. The other note is this week for Skip Plus members, and you can start a free trial. We are doing free 15-minute calls to talk about funding, understand where you're at, what could you use your business, and then give some recommendations. Okay, look at these funding options. Here's a few partners. Here are some good next steps. Have you done a business plan? Here are some grants to consider. So free 15-minute funding calls. If you start a Skip Plus trial, I will add that link into the description for you all. It's been awesome so far, huge demand, because just being able to talk with you, like all of you on the call right now, all 100 plus of you, if I could talk to you all one-on-one about your funding needs, I'd love to learn about your business. Well, we can do that. You can talk to one of our awesome teammates here about your business. Okay, let me take a look at a few SBA 7A questions, then end with grants, because I was talking about grants is the other bucket, which is just opportunistic. You should always go after. Everyone who's won a skip grant is always surprised. They didn't expect it. So it's a really nice surprise. Go towards rent or a piece of equipment, something that you didn't plan for, but was a nice delight thing. So definitely always support going after both. I think it's a great day to draw a winner. Okay, yes, on your birthday, Gail. So, and Stacy, great to hear too. You know, thoughts with your dad, and maybe you'll finally win one as well. Any questions here? Oh yeah, Faith, you asked about the 5K grant. Do you have to have a business or starting a business? Agnostic. So it could be either one. We recognize that. I think the latest numbers are folks in the skip community, the hundreds of thousands of businesses that we've helped over the past few years. There's about 30% or so that are at the day one stage, just starting a business, to a varying degree. So we recognize that that's the fastest growing area too. Millions of entrepreneurs. Even if you have an existing business today, you may be thinking about, oh, I have another idea. I want to start something else, an e-commerce site, a service-based business, a product-based business. So we recognize a lot of people are starting out, and that's often when 1K or 5K could make the biggest difference between your idea and getting your idea off the ground. So it's open to everyone, Faith, anyone entrepreneurial minded who's actively looking to start something. For the SBA 7 loan, Robin asked a good question here. Will they need my executive summary and business plan to award me the money? So they will need, yes, they will need a business plan. There may be an exception depending on the lender you go with. The lender we work with, New Tech, will need that. They'll want to see a business plan and some other things. And hopefully, Robin, for you, it's, it's good to have on hand for now, for yourself, and for the future as well. So, but it's a good question. If anyone needs a business plan, we've helped hundreds of businesses build a business plan. If you want to work with us, it's because it's often a blocker for many of you. You don't know where to start, or you get overwhelmed, what to include, what not to include. If you want to work with us to get a business plan that you can use for loan applications, SBA 7A, Robin, or anyone else, we can help you. And you can find out more on the Skip website, or always email us. Okay. You signed up for that. Let's see here. Oh, we've got Kentucky. Yeah, Stacy, good to see you in Kentucky as always. Let me see if there's any other SBA related questions. Can you get an SBA loan for real estate investing? There's SBA 504, which is for property. So if you've identified property, and there's a lot of rules around that, but the 504 is typically for those more expensive assets, Gail. So you'll need to have an existing business that's generating revenue, typically. So it's not, you won't just get it for real estate speculating. So you'll need to have some track record there. Hope that helps. All right. So that's, if there's any other questions when it comes to lines of credit, our two most popular lines of credit are Blue Vine. Many of you have gotten lines of credit from them. Or let's see if I see it here. You know what I can do? I'm going to filter here to non-grant opportunities only so we can see them. And you see Fora Financial, who's sponsoring a 5K grant, is listed here. Go take a look at them. But more to say on them very soon. But the other one, this is the second, it's a new partner we have, Paintbrush, up to $50,000 startup loan. Let me just tell you what this is briefly. If you're early revenue and You want up to $50,000. Applications take as little as 10 minutes. A lot of it is based on your existing credit score. You must make at least $100,000 a year, have history showing 2 years of consistent income, 720 or higher credit score. So for a lot of you, that's high. You may not be there yet at 720 or higher. But the second thing is we help a lot of people improve their credit scores, either directly or indirectly. So if you want to talk credit, you know, we can either work with you or point you in the right direction. You need to have a debt to income ratio of 40% or less, no bankruptcies, no liens, no delinquencies. So, you know, fine print here. A lot of it, again, is going to be based on your credit score. And, you know, frankly, if you want to get 50K, even pre-revenue, there are a lot of options. Like when you take a look at credit cards, how do they decide to approve you? Typically just based on your credit score, and they may approve you up to a 20K credit limit or 30K or 50K. So, you know, obviously you all know this, but so much is dependent on your credit score, especially early days in a business, or if you're, you know, around the 100K revenue mark or something like that. So, all right. Kim Gray asks, grant or SBA loan, and is it beneficial to become 7A? My credit score has gone down due to operation expensive. Yeah, Kim would love to know what gone down means, more or less. Typically for 7A, they'll want something around 640, but there are exceptions to that. And one thing I like to, and we've seen people go through, is to start with the SBA microloan. And if you successfully manage that, you can then apply for larger amounts of money. So SBA 7A small, SBA 7A express, those are 350K, 500K, and then kind of grow into the larger funding. So that's always, in my opinion, a great way to do it. A lot of good examples in the startup world, you know, companies. Let's just take WeWork because they're in the news last week. SoftBank, the venture capital firm in Asia, you know, poured a few $100 million into WeWork. Well, when you have that much capital, you often make poor decisions, and that's kind of the predicament WeWork is in now. So anyway, growing into capital, it's often, in my opinion, a much better way to grow a healthy business, something that's more sustainable as opposed to getting a large amount of cash all at once. All right. Okay. Thanks, Kim, for pointing out. Your first question is, you have a women, a WB, SB, DB, and I'm certified by the US DOT, single member LLC, filing as S Corp, been in business 1.5 years, projections, but just now generating revenue. What is best? Okay. This is great. You're in a great position. And how much are you looking for? That would be the question. But you know, it sounds like you could look at some SBA options, which are typically the lowest in terms of interest rates. So I'd start there, SBA microloan or SBA 7A. You can see details here because, again, those might be the best deals for you. At the same time, you know, can't hurt to look at some of these grants specific to women-owned businesses, especially some of the two that I just mentioned. Okay. Will one qualify? Similar question, Robin, for an SBA if you're trying to start a business. So this is related to the rule changes that happened on August 1st. You can qualify depending on where you're at. If you have a good credit score, if you're set up as an entity, if you have some track record, they're going to want to look at something to see how much you can afford. Typically, they'll want to see some revenue, though. So keep that in mind. But the change this time around is they can base some of the approval on projections, not just your track record and your bank statement history. Okay. And so if you tuned in late and you missed the 5K grant news, I mentioned a few other new grants that are on the Skip app and dashboard. You can search Skip in the App Store, join the tens of thousands of businesses. Let's try to get our app to #1 in the App Store. That's a goal. But our 5K grant, we're going to officially announce next Tuesday. But for everyone who's tuned in here and you use the first link in the description, you can add your email. Friday will tell you about how to get a head start, which will be advantageous. I already mentioned why that'll be advantageous. Just trust me on that and put your email there. Even if you're a Skip user already or you're brand new, put your email there. The second link is if you want to become a Skip affiliate. It's a great way to help us continue to grow by word of mouth and also to be seen in your community. You know, a lot of other creators here on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram highlight our Skip app, and they're seen as thought leaders in their community because they say, oh, you know what, I know about this, the Pepper grant or the 5K grant from Skip or the 1K grant from Skip. So if you're doing anything that's helping other businesses, whether it's your main thing or your side thing, great program to be a part of, the affiliate program. Do you qualify for the 5K grant as a self-employee? If you're self-employed, yes. If you are entrepreneurial and you have a side hustle, yes, you're eligible. So Alvaro would need to understand what that is. If you're just kind of like a W-2 employee, and you're not actively trying to start something, trying to start a company, a side hustle, or a business, then you wouldn't be eligible. All right. And Johnny, great to hear you're a new affiliate. So great to see you. Yeah, so many amazing affiliates. And Miles, I know you as well. Great to see you last week on our affiliate call. And just to share, we've got an amazing affiliate dashboard too. So I shared this last week, but if you have a grant that you like, that you want to share with others, you copy the link here, someone signs up, that credit goes to you, and it's worth both credit and cash. So anyway, if you want to tune in and learn more about that, that's always an option. We love having more affiliates, again, because we don't do paid marketing on Skip. We probably will soon, but we grow by word of mouth, and thanks to you, and thanks to everyone who uses Skip and has a great experience, then tells others. So that's the new grant roundup. Again, you know, August a little bit slower when it comes to new grants, but that's why we've created a grant out of thin air. We hustled and hustled, say, let's get a sponsor specifically so we can do a larger grant, $5,000, make it easy, make it open to a lot of folks, and go from there. Okay, and so Kim, you answered the follow-up question, 100K for operations. So you need it all at once or in 2 batches? Because if you needed it in 2 batches, you could do an SBA microloan up to 50K, buy time with that. But also another good option would be, let me go down here. You know, let me see here. Oh, the paintbrush. Yeah, if you saw the paintbrush startup grant too. So yeah, take a look here. There's a few other partners, but I'd say go after SBA funding first. A secondary question would be, do you have a business bank account? Have you looked at business credit cards yet? Those are often an easier first step, Kim, because it'd be based on your credit score. Would be a great starting point. All right. Yeah, you should feel free to call us. So we send an email about it. We'll send another one about it too, Kim. So would love to talk through that with you. Okay. So where do we apply for these grants? Patricia, great question. All of these grants here, and then the 5K one, this is on the Skip app. So search Skip in the app stores, or one of the links in the description, helloskip.com as well. You can see all of these. So, and anyone, if you need help, we'll just end with this today because we're at 1:30. If you need help with grants, with funding, wherever you're at, that's what we're here for. So we try to put as much information out here as possible so you can DIY. But if you want to talk to someone, and there's a huge advantage of just spending 15 minutes, 30 minutes talking with someone, you know, so you don't spin your wheels for hours on something. There's details in the description, in the footer of the website. But we can talk with you one-on-one. Even if you go to the join page, helloskip.com/join, you'll find out more, because we can help you get unstuck and you can accelerate your growth. Okay, thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Probably saw 30 states here today. And Jen from Rochester, good to see you. But good to see so many familiar faces every single week. Thanks for all the support that allows us to keep getting partners to give out more money, give out more grants. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Any questions in the meantime, hopefully you'll chat with us on the app or leave a comment here on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook. Okay. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.